This is the 5 Point Play Podcast, the Die Hard Duke Basketball Fans Podcast, Season 8,
Let's
Episode
go.
1. The season is here. We got the always controversial, the Duke fan, always controversial. And then our main man, the sixth member of the 5 Point Play Podcast,
The
Dave,
newly
debuting.
appointed
That's right,
sixth member.
debuting
Start
this
plug off the
year.
bench, man.
DH, good to have you officially on board. Obviously, you've been with us quite a bit over the last season and change. You're probably the most vocal. Jeremy Wilson's listening, so but I will say that you're probably the most vocal on the Discord. So officially, as the season kicks off here, DH is going to be part of the rotation, and we're going to be covering this live, not live, but we're going to be recording every Monday night from here until we cut down the nuts. So
Damn right.
it's good to have you, DH. DH, you were at the live show at Countdown to Craziness with AC, the Godfather, and back in my day, Jack. What was CTC like?
He's got bad knees, TK. He's got
and a bad
knees.
jump shot.
Yeah, man. That jump shot was rough. First of all, TK and D, thanks for having me, guys. I mentioned this on the live show. It's an honor to be with you all today, and hopefully many more Mondays to come in April, toward April. So in person. So Countdown, the atmosphere was great. It's my first time being there live. So I don't have a lot to compare it to from a live perspective, but I do watch it every year, of course. But I will say that initially, I was a little concerned about Cameron just because Cameron seemed a little bit on the emptier side at first. Of course, it filled in eventually. And I would really attribute that to, the Cooper Flag hangover. I think it's hard to compare anything to the hysteria that Cooper Flag and that team demanded for good reason. But ultimately, by the time the game got started and intro started going, and of course, Jason Tatum coming out as a surprise, the crowd got rocking. The energy was great all the rest of the night.
So nobody had any clue that Tatum was there.
It didn't seem that way. I know that
it was leaked.
Yeah, it was leaked. But I will say that the vast majority of the building
guessed.
Yeah, reacted like they did. I certainly,
Sure.
aside from our own behind the scenes things, you could tell that it was a big surprise to everybody. And I think, based on what John even said, I don't know the capacity by which JT is going to be helping with the team. I would imagine some level of rehab and him being kind of there as much as he can be. But even mentioning that this guy will be helping us out a lot this year has everyone still in the conversation about what that actually means.
Yeah, that is kind of that. I will say that is kind of wild. And like TK said, this was the first time we haven't been there in a long time. I think I've been there 3 years in a row. This is the first year I had to miss. And you could tell like the hype was a little bit down. Talk a little bit about how the recruits that were there. I know the crazies always call the recruits over during the game, but the game, and we'll get into this more into the podcast about how it went with the 3-point contest, the Elam ending, and all that. But did they call any recruits over? Who was there? Who did you see?
Yeah, so both JSJ and Cam, we're both there in person, and they both were called over. I know that
You're talking about Jordan Smith.
I'm sorry.
So he was. Well, I knew who you were talking about, but I just want the fans
for sure.
to know.
So Jordan Smith Jr. and Cam Williams, I believe.
That wasn't confirmed that Jordan Smith was going to be there.
They were there. I know that since then there have been pictures that were kind of leaked from the day.
Sure.
But they both were officially there.
That's awesome.
Sitting right next to Jason Tatum and Coach Shire. And then until the camera creators called them over.
They call them over.
They both called them over. They both went. Okay. They both had on devil ears for the night as well. Some of the novelty items. And they both held the baby up. So for whatever that means to folks.
That means a lot. For what I don't know why, but it does.
It means something to me.
But it does.
So they both held up the baby, and
that's cool.
They also tried to call over Deuce and JT, to which they both said
that's
nothing.
Awesome.
So they all were called.
I mean,
Yeah.
JT did enough, and with the blown Achilles, right? Like,
Yeah.
just give the guy a break a little bit.
100%.
But yeah, no, it's awesome that he's there, and obviously he speaks to the
the
relationship
brotherhood.
that he had with. It speaks to the relationship that he has with John.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Emil was there as well, and I think that it was no accident that with Cam Williams, especially in the building, that his favorite player is Jason Tatum. That he was there,
Mm-hmm.
and if Tatum, Tatum's been probably of all of our pros the most vocal about what Duke has done for him, and always trying to go back. So in about 20 years we'll have Deuce Tatum as well in the brotherhood, but. I think that just from keeping it on the recruiting side, it may have not been the depth of roster that we're used to at Countdown, but when you have two of the top three guys in the class there, and you're trying to create that package deal, I
Mm-hmm.
think it was massive that they were able to get more one-on-one time than
Mm-hmm.
you may have otherwise with a ton of people there. Um, but I want to put this around as well, just kind of talking about the hangover effect. It kind of goes in two different ways for me, right? Because I see a lot of people in the Twitter world and in other places, on Discord is no stranger to this, and really hyping up when you see a roster on paper before the season, before you see the first look. It's always the greatest thing. It is this team is going to be able to be better than last year, and I'm so hesitant, and I try to tell everybody, hey, like we want to pump this team up, but we're
Yeah.
not going to do it on the backs of a team that was historically great just because they didn't finish the way that we wanted them to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this team will be really good. I don't know if they're going to be great, but I think it's kind of to your point, DH, that you said the Cooper flag. The Cooper flag was so generational, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
just what he did on the court, but the gravitas that he had, that he pulled in people from everywhere. Everybody knew who Cooper Flag was. I have
Mm-hmm.
friends that live way out of the area who wanted to get a ticket to Cameron just to see Cooper Flag, and they're not even Duke fans. So
Yeah.
just kind of talk about that and kind of what you felt in Cameron until things kind of picked up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think that as a fan base, at least the fan base that was represented in the building, I still think that we as a fan base are a little bit hesitant as a group to get excited about another team. I think there's something to be said about the emotional hangover. While
Sure.
we might have turned the page of seeing a new team, I don't think we're over it, as a group. And I think that when we're comparing at least some of the excitement and hype about this year's team, it has to be in the context of the pomp and circumstance of last year's team and the fact that I don't think that as a fan base we necessarily expected this team to be as good, as dominant. I'd say probably as dominant as last year's team for a variety of reasons. But I will say that once the play on the court started, I think that we were able to kind of as a group like turn the page a bit and kind of see this team for what it is in a lot of great ways. In some ways, we have to continue to work through.
Yeah, go ahead, D.
You could say that about a lot of Duke teams that made it not quite as far as we thought. Well, let's use the Harry Giles, Jason Tatum
Mm-hmm.
team as an example. That was the best team on paper we've ever seen.
Yeah,
And
on paper.
if we didn't have HB2 or whatever it was called in North Carolina,
Yeah,
and we didn't
yeah.
have to go to Columbia, I swear on my
Oh,
life,
that's right. That's right. Forgot
I
about that.
swear on my life, we'd have gone to, because they were supposed to play in Greensboro
Mm-hmm.
the first two games,
That's
but
right.
we had to go to Columbia and play
And
the
play
first
South
two.
Carolina there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
You're welcome for the 4 people who got drafted from that
yeah.
South Carolina team, by the way. But no, I it's the same kind of feeling for me, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, because that was the best team on paper Duke has seen in a long, long time. But then you go
Yeah.
to the Paolo year
Yeah.
and the Zion year.
Yeah.
That's the best team on paper we've seen in a long, long time. And
Yeah.
they got beat by UNC in the Final Four. Like that broke my heart. I think the Houston game last year broke my heart more than the Carolina game did.
I agree. 100%.
I'm from here. Like let it be clear. I was born and raised where I'm sitting right now. I haven't moved ever. My grandparents, my great grandparents are buried here.
Yeah.
And that Houston game in the Final Four broke my heart. Like I cried, grown man tears. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. I cried grown man tears. And that's not saying I'll get over the UNC loss.
Sure.
In the Final Four, but that's like, fuck Carolina. Whatever.
Yeah.
That Houston loss hurt me.
Yeah. And I also
that Houston loss hurt me.
D, is that I think the difference between last year's team and even the Tatum and Giles year, Giles was the generational talent, but Giles never got there because of injury. Right.
Yeah, but he was.
I mean, he was
like that's
he was,
not even.
What I'm saying.
I understand.
What I'm saying is just from the pure pump and like not necessarily the result, but just how much emotional investment the fan base had in that team last year. I think was still part of I'd say at least it was a barrier that I think that we all had to collectively in the building move through in order to see this team for what it is in front of our faces. And I think eventually, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick on that point though, DH, is that I think the other main difference between last year's team and the Tatum team is that the Tatum team wasn't perfectly constructed. We didn't have a point guard that year.
Nope.
We had to have Matt Jones, Grayson Allen, try to play point guard. It wasn't a perfectly constructed team. Whereas last year there were no holes in that roster.
Harry Giles got violently abused with a crackback block in Barcelona or wherever it was during a USA game.
Harry Giles is one of he's on a short list of players where
could have been the greatest of all time.
Right. Like if you had
dead ass could have been the greatest of all time.
He's on the what if team. Like that's probably an encore podcast where
my favorite
about the what if team.
One of my favorite players of all time.
Yeah, I love Harry Giles. And the guy's attitude was second to none. Like that's the one thing about him.
Still is.
Yeah, it still is. I mean, you can't teach that. You can't. That's the thing about Harry Giles. Like I just love that kid, and I'm always rooting for him. And Tatum, like that's he's number one, right? All right, we're heading into encore territory. We gotta get back here to talk about
let's get into this because I've got some things to say.
Yeah, so I want to talk about the intros real quick. We don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it. Obviously, watching on TV, and then obviously watching some of the recaps. To me, it was a hands down Big Pat with the best intro.
Oh, yeah.
What was it for you guys?
Go ahead, D.
No, who had to hop up out my bed, turn my swag on? Who was that? Was that Iffy?
Turn my swag on was, I don't know, was it Iffy? I didn't log.
I feel like it was Iffy.
Who had what?
Also, Nick with the Cali joint.
Yeah,
that was kind of hot.
Too. Yeah, I enjoyed this too. What struck me was that this team was a lot more like when you think about like culture and like what attitude the teams are going to have. I remember last year a large talking point was that they were all about business. They didn't really dance a lot. They kind of waved to the crowd, did their high fives, and went back. This team is much looser in that way. Like they're gonna dance. They even in some of the Duke Blue Planet, devilish stuff, they laugh and joke a lot. I think their attitude is a lot more. They are a lot lighter with one another. I think. I think that showed with the dancing.
Duke motherfuckers.
Yeah, and it's funny.
That was the best by far.
I talked to AC.
That was hot.
And I don't know how much AC knew that Duke actually did that. Like even pregame.
We actually hurt somebody's feelings one time because we were like, "What are you talking about, lady?" Yeah. That's a dope ass shirt, and we are actually working on a 5-point podcast play of that.
Nice.
DDMF.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. I think that is one of the highlights. I think Nick was a highlight. I think that I wasn't expecting Cam to do all that he did. I mean, again, because he has the reputation of being such like a machine,
Right.
him being able to show a lot of that personality, I think really helps us like personalize him and like be able to, I think as a fan base, but okay, I like this guy. As opposed to just him being a damn good basketball player. I actually kind of like this guy. This guy has a lot of has a less serious side, which I think worked well for him and for the group as a whole.
And I want to move into the 3-point contest. It wasn't the 3-point contest that I expected. They didn't have the racks out there.
Mm-hmm.
But Connor was like, if they didn't make at least 18, I'd be like, all right, like you're just hitting standstill, catch and shoot threes, and you can take your time.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know that I came away super impressed. Well, I'm glad that they made the shots, but it kind of that to me had the potential to be great. And it to me just didn't kind of deliver. I will say, as a side note, though, very impressed with Chris Campbell. I mean, that guy was knocking
Yeah.
down three.
Unfortunately, TK, he's not suiting up this year.
No, but he looked good. It looked like he lost some weight. Like he looked
I
like
understand.
he.
I understand. But he's not playing.
No, he's not playing. No, but I just want to give a shout out to Coach C.
Yeah, shout out to Sewell,
Understood.
man. We knew it was gonna like the. I think they had announced that Sewell was gonna be part of
Yeah,
the contest. So that wasn't necessarily a surprise, but I think that he not just from a competitive standpoint, but like you hear year over year, people say that he's hilarious. Like he's just one of those guys from a coaching staff perspective that's one of the elder statesmen, but also
He's a
always has
cool
a joke
dude.
to crack. Yeah,
He's a
really cool
cool dude.
guy. And so I think that seems like the guys were into it, and I think a lot of like the conversation on the shuttle back to like parking was talking about the benefit of having Malik pass the basketball, and like it's something I hadn't really thought
I
about, but
saw
like
that.
even
Yeah,
the
smart.
idea that like having Malik one involved, but secondly, I couldn't see it from my seat, but apparently from other seats, you could see him like really being invested in the shots that were happening, like the placement of the basketball, all of that stuff. And I think that
Passing.
there is
Yeah.
a small some not a lot to be taken from that, but I think it's something worth mentioning.
No, it's not. You're not wrong, DH. Like we talk about on this podcast all the time. Like the best time to shoot a 3-pointer is often offensive rebound. And
Mm-hmm.
what does Malik do? Great.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive rebound.
Yep.
So the fact that he was just grabbing boards and kicking them out,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
that's crazy smart of the team, right? Of the
Yeah.
coaching staff, right?
I mean, it should be. I mean, I think if nothing else, it helps, build whatever levels of continuity you can having so many off-season, health things. I mean, that, you get the guy it's
It's a
mentally
mind
being on
thing.
the floor. Yeah, it very
It's a
much is.
mind thing.
Knowing John is all purposeful. I mean, the
Sure.
program is all about purpose, but I think it was a nice touch to do that for this team and with those two guys in particular. With Malik, I think it worked out really well.
yeah. I think the one thing that we said after countdown is nothing that Duke does is an accident. They're very intentional, very purposeful about the where people are sitting.
Mm-hmm.
To the lighting, to everything. So that was good to see. Obviously, shout out to Darren Harris for. I mean, I don't
17
care if
straight
you're standing or not.
ain't sweet.
Yeah, I don't care if you're standing
17
or
straight
not.
is,
Like
yeah.
that's pretty solid. And that's what he's
Quick
supposed to do.
release. Quick release.
That's what he's supposed to
Yeah.
do, and he did it. So happy for him. So let's get
Mm-hmm.
into the game. I
So
like it.
you want my hot take? Or no, go ahead. No, I'll
Yeah, I'm
wait.
not sure because I think we'll have enough hot takes potentially for this segment, so I might flow right into it. But real quick on the scrimmage, I like the way they sent up both teams. I thought that was
Mm-hmm.
really good. I thought it was really cool that they had both boozers playing together. I think that was more for the fans than anything. So I like that part of it. The good news, if you're looking for good news out of the gate, is that we were 52% from three as a team. So in both groups, so it was 12 of 23. So that was good. 9 of 16 for Team Blue, the team that won. That was good. Obviously, Isaiah Evans never met a shot that he didn't love. It was it was fun to watch him just let it fly. Um, but I know that your boy D has a lot that he wants to get off his chest, and I think this is where we're going to let you take the mic
Thank
and
Cook, man.
just whatever you got to say about the scrimmage.
This is where I'm getting a lot of hate on Twitter. I guarantee it. The Discord is going to go crazy. The Patreon is going to go crazy. But I was very unimpressed. It was unimpressive. And like DH said, that we're coming off of a Cooper Flag year, right? We're coming off of a Conkin Nipple year. We're et cetera, et cetera. But this was very unimpressive to me. I saw flashes of greatness. Nick Haminia with a couple threes, Darren Saar with or Dame Saar with a couple drives, Darren Harris 2 quick buckets, and that's it. Like it was borderline unimpressive. Wilkins to me looked the best, to be honest, but other than that, it was just blah. I didn't see anything special. I didn't see anything great. I didn't see anything flashy. I didn't see anything fast. I thought Evans was hunting a shot that wasn't there after he made 2 like heat check. Like it's I'm I don't want to say I'm worried. I didn't like the lineups, to be honest. I didn't like the effort, to be honest. It looked lackadaisical, looked slow. I was unimpressed.
What were your expectations going into it? Let's set the bar.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Nobody knew, right? But we also didn't know that they were going to do the Elam ending. We didn't know we were going to do a 3-point contest. We didn't know anything, right?
We knew about the 3-point contest. We didn't know about the.
I didn't.
Okay.
I
They put that.
I missed that memo. I missed that memo.
Okay.
But no, even Cam Boozer looked kind of blah to me. Like it just didn't. And maybe it was late at night. They had a long day signing autographs, whatever. But it didn't seem like they were putting a lot of effort into anything.
So I don't.
But I wasn't there. I was not there.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, I think that I'm of 2 minds about this, about any countdown or scrimmage type of situation in general, particularly one where, in hindsight, you put the entire thing up on the internet to show everyone, right? I think there's something to be said about, while I think that there were things that surprised me in a positive way, I do agree with you that neither boozer really showed me, neither felt like they really had a huge impact on the game. I think that in a in if you're looking at the point guard matchup of who's going to be PG1, I do think that while Caden was forgettable, I think Caleb wasn't great that one night. So if nothing else, consistency is a conversation to be had. I think that, but what I will say is that there were some positives in my opinion. I think that Dame was incredibly disruptive defensively, didn't give us a lot offensively. He was what, 1 for 5.
I'll let you continue. But
go ahead.
He was good cutting to the basket. Like the basketball, you could see the basketball IQ was there.
Yeah, the wheels are turning. And I mean, and if I'm being honest, I think that both in a world where Duke is obviously going to fixate on defense much more, I think they're going to realize that they have to win games defensively. I can see the conversation like that Shai talked about in this mic'd up, where the offense is a little bit ahead. There's a lot more actions being run than I thought would be at this stage of the season. Honestly, there's a lot more like dribble handoff stuff, high post stuff, a lot of sipping screen stuff. Whether Caleb catches the basketball in the lane or not, Dame got to look that way. I think that I loved how Sebastian and Isaiah, to a large extent, cut off that corner pass corner skip pass a couple of times, got a couple of run outs. So I'm not as down on it as you may have been, D, to be honest with you. I definitely think that I would have loved to see more assertiveness from Cam, especially with that team. I think that there was a prime opportunity for him to really start to put his foot down as the best player in the building. I don't think he necessarily did that. But I don't know if you have to. I mean, in a scrimmage like this, I try not to take a lot from it. But I will say that there were some things that I like that I saw, and there's some things that I think that the team will definitely be watching film and being like, okay.
I wish Evans would have gotten better on defense, honestly.
I thought his defense was actually all right.
Good.
Yeah, I thought his defense was pretty good. I actually thought he played.
But to be fair, I thought everybody was mid. I don't.
So for me, when I watched, I thought it was pretty much what I expected, which was a whole lot of kind of, I wouldn't say half-ass effort, but like you're going through the motions a little bit. Yeah, I mean, if you want to call it that. So like, yeah, I thought they were kind of going. I mean, I think that you can still play hard and still go through the motions at the same time because there's not as much structure there. What I've liked about Isaiah Evans was I thought that his all-around game was really solid. Now, he was definitely especially early on, he was hunting shots that were borderline ridiculous, but he's also trying to put on a show, as his nickname is, Showtime Slim. I think he was trying to put on a little bit of a show, but what really surprised me and impressed me actually was the last possession, where I thought for sure that Slim was going to take that deep three from basically the top of the key. He passed that thing to Caleb, who passed it to Seabass in the corner. That was a good basketball play. Like, to me, in a situation like that, where there's nothing really on the line, I thought Slim was going to try to launch that three and try to win it. I was stunned when he didn't get the last shot. So to me, that shows a little bit of the maturity.
I agree.
And in terms of the DH, you brought up the kind of the point guard matchup. My take on that was, yeah, I don't think either one of them played great, but if I had to pick one, it would have been Caleb Foster 10 out of 10 times. Just from what I saw.
Agreed.
And then we brought up Darren Harris. He hit a couple right away. I thought that's what he is. I mean, he's going to hit a couple threes.
I think he brought himself off the bench that game.
I mean, I think he's going to be off the bench either way.
No, he's the first person off the bench, in my opinion, after that game. That first three, bang.
And he didn't hesitate. I mean, that was quick release.
Wow.
I love where his form is. It's high. He likes that stuff. As soon as he gets the ball, it's going. So I love that. I love the confidence that he plays with, or at least shoots with. So yeah, so I think there was definitely some positives, but as an overall viewing experience, just kind of like, all right, it's kind of what I expected, which is not a whole lot. Did we have a single dunk in that scrimmage?
No, not that I can recall.
As a Duke fan, I was unimpressed, bro, and I am a Duke fan. I'm a Duke fan. I don't like baseball. I don't like football team. I'm a Duke fan. TK, you already know. TK, you know this.
I just think that comes down again to what exactly were your expectations. That's why I asked that, because I mean I don't know what you expected. Yeah, sure, but it's a 12-minute scrimmage where you're not.
Bro, we've seen scrimmages.
Sure. And I think that when they
I've sat next to you during scrimmages.
Sure, absolutely. And I think that, I'm really looking forward to seeing what we do in the Brotherhood run in a couple of weeks. I want to see what that looks like 2 weeks from tomorrow. So we'll probably, send this out tomorrow morning. It'll be 2 weeks to the day. So, I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like against a different opponent, kind of seeing what lineups they tinker with.
Wilkins is a dog. I'll say that right now. Wilkins is a dog. Wilkins.
I'm wondering, and we'll get into our predictions for the season in a couple of weeks, but it's
not sure how he doesn't play.
I don't know how
40 minutes a game.
40 minutes a game is aggressive.
I don't know how he's going to play in big games right now. Like I think there is a lot of.
He was the best player on the court.
I don't think so.
Disagree.
Yeah,
Who was the best player on the court?
Pat was the best player on the floor.
Pat was fantastic. We haven't even gotten to be Pat.
Pat was the best player on the court.
By far
the 7-footer shooting 3-pointers was the best player on the court.
Did he make them?
He was 3 for 3 with a reverse pivot baseline
on a guy that's.
I do not want or need a 7-footer
with two blocks and
I
a couple steals and a couple potential assists. I mean, I think he was overall much more of an impact on the game than Sebastian was. Aside from the game winner.
I think Pat was by far the best on the court. I agree with the age.
That is insane.
And to your question, I would absolutely want him to shoot threes in the game. 100%.
Are you serious?
Swear to God.
Without question.
His form is
He
stretches the floor. He stretches the floor. It allows Cam to clean up the offensive glass.
Cam didn't do shit. Cam might as well have been on a wheelchair that game.
I think Cam's going to be just fine. I'm not going to.
Cam's going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be fine. I do agree with the fact that I think on that team, like it was kind of set up for him to be that guy, but maybe in that scrimmage it wasn't for him. I don't think he played very well. I think he'll be the first one to admit that, Cam Boozer. But at the same time, if you have to ask me who's the best player, it was Big Pat by far.
Bro,
I'd agree. And I mean, there's. Go ahead, D.
I'm just saying, I as a basketball guy, I do not want my 7-footer out there shooting mother threes. Get your ass in the paint and do your damn job. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if it's 2036 or it's 1936. Get your ass in the paint. What is you doing?
And he did. And he hit.
He didn't.
Yes, he did. He had the best move of the night.
There's a couple things there, D. So on one hand, I think that we have to see patterns. I think last year, Shire tried to get Malik and tried to get Pat, and to a certain extent mentioned that Common could shoot the basketball and he wanted them to shoot that shot to space the floor, especially with as great a passers as both Malik and Pat are from a basketball perspective. Being able to allow your big man to be at the threat of the pick and pop is something that they can utilize to their advantage. Secondly, I will also say that one thing that I will dock Caleb on is that there were 2 or 3 different plays where Pat had his guy sealed and Caleb started just dribbling into traffic. Yeah. So what from a simplistic, like making the simple basketball play perspective, yes, we want our 6'11" guy to be on the post, and 85 to 90% of the time he will be, but being a threat to shoot that shot is going to help Duke spacing quite a bit.
This has been my knock on Caleb the whole time. I don't think he's as good as people want to believe. And I know his mom watches the podcast, and I respect her, and I love the kid to death, but I just don't think, like, when it comes down to it, when push come to shove, when back's against the wall, I don't think Caleb Foster is as good as we all want to think he is. If we're being honest with each other, I think Caden is a better point guard. I think Darren Harris is a better point guard.
I mean, I think that's an apples and oranges conversation. Here's what I mean when I say that. I think on one hand, I think that Caleb currently, and since his junior year of high school, has become a scoring guard.
They tried to give him the ball, brother.
And the problem with that is when you're on a team that has so many options, being a ball stopper as he has been in the past won't necessarily bode well for this type of team unless you put him around pieces such as Caden and Nick specifically, who are very much ball movement first guys. Now, that does not mean that he's not a good player. I think that he will thrive in that second side role. I think John has some decisions to make with regard to how he wants to organize his lineups, because in a world where you have potentially point forward Cam Boozer, you may not necessarily need Caleb to take on that particular role. So I guess time will tell. I'm not ready to write him off. I think he has a
No,
lot to offer.
no.
I think he just deserves to simplify his game quite a bit.
I
And I think that during countdown, he was still improve it mode. Like I want to prove how much I've improved. I want to prove how much I've added to my
agree.
bag. I want to prove that I'm the leader of this team instead of just going out and playing. And I think that the last couple of weeks of the season last year, he just went out and played. And I think
Right.
that that's the best we've seen of him,
100%.
regardless of what his role ends up being.
I'm glad you brought up Nick because I think Nick could really be like the John Shire point guard of this year's team. Like,
can I say one thing
think
real
about
quick?
it. Just think about it. Just think about it.
One thing I want to say about Caleb Foster is
Nick
I think
Cominio,
that
point guard.
one thing I want to say about Caleb Foster is that this is where I trust our coaches. This is where I trust that they're going to make sure that they just keep him to you're not trying to take away your game, but at the same time, make sure you're playing your game in the flow of what we're trying to do.
Don't hurt.
So I don't anticipate Caleb getting in all sorts of those types of trouble when they break down the film. And I'm sure there's not been as much film when they're going 4-on-4 and different drills and stuff like that, where you can say, hey, look, the simple play, make the simple play, like you did at the end. The simple play, the right play. Just make the right play. And I think that they're going to do that with him. I have no problem saying that he was not at his best in countdown, but I'm not asking him to be. I think you're right about he may have been in improvement mode, but I think that may have gotten him in trouble a little bit at certain points last year where he was trying to prove it too much, and that took him away from we're a team trying to win a game. And it's that Coach K thing where it takes 5 and a fist to be able to do it. And I don't think that Caleb, he always meant well, but I think he was too singular focused in so many ways that I'm not worried about that this year because I think if he was singular focused, he would have left.
He's a leader.
He would have left if he was singular focused. He came back to prove things, and I think that him and John have a great relationship. I'm not worried about Caleb Foster whatsoever.
No, neither am I. No, me either. Me either. I'm not either. I'm just saying, like I like what DH said, like the Nick playing like a point guard role, all bigs on the court.
You could do that, but I think the beauty of the roster and how it's built, much like last year, is that John has a lot of options to go with in different roles, and
a lot of interchangeable parts.
Exactly.
I was talking to my girl. When I was watching it over again. I didn't mean to interrupt you. My bad. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I said, I don't know the starting 5 here. There's so many different starting lineups on this court right now. While we were watching it 12 minutes in, I said, there's so many different starting lineups.
There are. And I mean, I'm not as down on countdown as you might have been, D. I think there's a lot of good things to take from it. Yeah, like we want to see more polished, but also like if this was December or January and we were having a lot of these same issues and we may still, right? Like the story arc of the team is still evolving. But I think that I think that Isaiah was really good defensively. I think Pat took his leap. I think Darren did a lot more than just shoot and score. I think he had opportunities where he looked great. I think Sebastian looked pretty good in the athleticism plays.
I think Dame Sarr looked good.
I think Dame was incredibly disruptive defensively. I think that he's probably one of the reasons that Caleb struggled so badly because that was his matchup. I think that Nick was good defensively, and I think that he pushed Cam around and made Cam earn whatever he got.
Yeah, he did.
I don't think Nick missed a shot.
No, he missed one. He hit a pump fake and tried to draw a foul and bricked one. But again, that's like 3 or 4, 2 threes, a drive that should have been an one and a miss. I'll take that in winning
any
time.
day.
Like any day. I think that I think there's a
lot of mismatches. So what you're saying, there's a lot of mismatches on that squad.
And then you do all this without Malik, who might be the best defender in the country.
Right.
So
I forgot Malik didn't even.
You know what I'm saying? So
damn,
you're
right.
I think there's a lot that we can take from this to say, okay, I can see how Nick fits here. I can see how I think I can see how Cam can be dominant. I can see how Dame can be really disruptive defensively and just go get you effort buckets. Go get you an offensive rebound, run the floor, and dunk on somebody one time, and get you and maybe hit the standstill three if he can hit the standstill three consistently.
We're forgetting he's a pro. Like
he's also a pro,
a legitimate.
And it doesn't even matter how many minutes he played or didn't play. You still played against some of the best top 1% of players in the world.
Not for a year. State, cause the world.
So I mean, I'm not as down on the overall product. I think that the offense looks pretty good by and large. I think the defense has opportunities. I think that you can see certain things that John is preaching, like they're digging pretty consistently on the wings and trying to strip the ball to get turnovers. I think Sebastian did it. I think Isaiah did it. I think Dame did it. I would love to see more from places, but I think that overall, like, you get it. I don't even remember what Countdown to Craziness last year looked like. I just remember the team was fucking dominant. So like, ultimately, let's get to November 3rd against Texas, and then I'll start to have more takeaways,
dunks, and a lot of scoring. That's all.
Yeah, and
it was not the same. It was not the same. And that's what I think we started this off with was we had a 3-point contest. We had an Elam ending, completely different from anything we've seen in the last 4 years.
And I think that's okay. I think that's a perfect way.
That's fine. And then I hate that I missed it. That pisses me off.
And the team can shoot, y'all. The team can shoot.
The team can shoot. The team can shoot.
The team can shoot.
I think that's a perfect way to bring this all together for our first episode of the season. Season 8 of 5-Point Play Podcast.
Episode 1. Let's do it, man.
We got DH in the building. He will be here all season long, and we will be here all season long with you guys. TK back in the saddle, was off during the summer. The always controversial D2 fan. Jack will be back. Pobbs will be back. The Godfather AC will be back. Berlin will be here. Coach P stands for pause, man. Appreciate everybody. We'll see you all season long. You know where to follow us. Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, Discord, YouTube. Get like and subscribe on YouTube.
Get your 5-Point Play Podcast merch now.
Get your merch. You can follow it. Everybody, we got a big season ahead of us. Let's go Duke.
Let's go Duke.